It's time for more Lego cooking. I'm going to put 45 minutes on the clock. I'm going to fast forward the camera and I'm going to start talking over this. I'll be back with the final plating. See you in a bit. For this installment, I'm making a steak dinner. Porterhouses were on sale at my local supermarket, so they may not be the highest of quality compared to a butcher, but I'm a simple man that likes steak, so I bought some. To pair with my steak, I have some purple cauliflower and trumpet mushrooms that I picked up at a local farmer's market here in Phoenix. Now I also have a simple red wine pan sauce for the steak that's also going to use some shallots that I got there as well. But I'm taking some shortcuts in this cook using pre-chopped garlic and dried herbs, so I won't really have a significant amount of fresh ingredients. To round out the list of ingredients, I have some garlic powder, onion powder, olive oil, salt, pepper, butter, and lemon. Overall, a simple ingredient list, and I'm going to walk you through what ingredient goes with what as we progress through this. To cover the equipment that I used in this cook, I want to break it down into 3 areas. The cooking vessels that I used, the essential equipment, and some optional equipment. For the cooking vessels, you're going to need a stainless steel oven-safe pan, large enough for the steak that you're cooking, a non-stick fry pan, and a baking sheet. For the essentials that I used, outside of an oven and stove, of course, I used some knives, cutting boards, mixing bowl, oven mitts, pot holders. You can use towels to remove stuff out of the oven if you want, tongs, wooden spatula, mixing spoon, and some foil to rest my steak. For the optional equipment, I used a mortar and pestle, but you can use the flat side of your knife and the cutting board to turn the herbs and garlic and salt into a paste instead of a mortar and pestle. I also used a fine mesh strainer and a bowl for my sauce, but you don't have to strain out the solids if you don't want to. Finally, I have some foil for the baking sheet, only to help ease up the cleanup. I started by preheating my oven to 400 degrees right at the start of my 45-minute time frame. I next used the 5 minutes following that to pull out ingredients and equipment. I cut florets from my cauliflower head and tossed those into olive oil, salt, garlic powder, onion powder, and black pepper. I next chopped my shallots, knowing I would strain my sauce later. If you aren't going to strain your sauce, I would recommend chopping the shallots as finely as possible. I then let everything set at room temperature, including a seasoned steak. All I put on my steak was salt. Since this recipe is relatively low effort and high return after this initial 5 minutes, I was able to spend the next 10 minutes or so on my Lego build. With 30 minutes left to go, my oven was done preheating, so I took this opportunity to do some minor final prep. I also used this time to mash up the dried rosemary, pre-chopped garlic, and salt into a paste with my mortar and pestle. Next, into the oven went my cauliflower, and I started to get my stainless steel pan heating on medium-high for the steak. Lastly, I prepped my mushrooms by slicing them vertically in half and scoring the cut sides. Now I understand that not everything I have said has matched up with what is being shown in the video, but that is unfortunately the nature of a single continuous shot. I don't always have time to explain what I am doing in the moment, so I go back and try to explain it the best that I can when I have the opportunity, like explaining what's going on with my Legos right now. During a downtime, I am able to go over my 3rd bag for the Lego R2-D2 build kit. Now it is going to take me more time to finish this stage of the build than the 45-minute cook time, so all that means is that I'm going to finish this stage while I am eating my dinner, but I'm not going to start bag 4 because that will be saved for a future cook. Going back to the cooking process, once your stainless steel pan is hot, you're going to sear the fat cap of your steak in a dry pan for about 2 minutes until it develops color and you see beef fat in your pan. Then you're going to put it on one of its sides to start developing color while you preheat your pan for the mushrooms with a little bit of olive oil. Then, after the 2 minutes of searing for the steak, you put that into the oven for about 10 minutes. After that 10 minutes, you're going to pull it from the oven. You are going to rest your steak under some foil. Then you're going to put shallots into your hot pan, put it over high heat on your stove, deglaze the shallots and beef fat with red wine and add in some vegetable broth and boil until the sauce is reduced. You're also going to be searing your mushrooms on the cut side for this entire cooking process and not touching them until they are almost ready to come out of the pan. Lastly, you're going to strain your sauce if you're choosing to do that, and I'm going to walk you through the final plating. We have 30 seconds left to go, so I'm going to go ahead and start plating up. My sauce is still going, it is reducing, but we're going to go ahead and turn off the heat just so that that can go ahead and cool down a bit. Porterhouse has rested. I'm a simple man. I'm just going to shove a giant piece of steak onto a plate. That's the timer for 45 minutes. I did speed through this and I did speed up the camera for the plating, but you'll find the ingredients and the procedure down in the description below. I'm going to strain it and then I'm going to finish plating and enjoy my dinner. Like I said, 45 minutes, you can make a delicious meal. I'm going to go ahead and get this finished and I'm going to show you what it looks like when it's plated next.